Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lowe's channel. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I know we're in a little bit of a different setting. Usually, I would be out, doing the vlogs already. But today, we're in a little more chilled environment. I'm just in my room. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a story time. Just taking y'all back, man, to my um, going into senior year, the summer before going into senior year, and really just my senior year a little bit. Just a little bit of a rough point, I believe there's a lesson to be learned from it, and it's nothing too bad, Obviously, I got through it, but I think there's just a lesson to be learned from it, and so, let's get into it. If y'all like the story, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into it, yo. So, basically, we're gonna take it back to 2018. The summer of 2018. Just finished my junior year of high school, going into my last summer of being able to play summer basketball, summer tournaments, and anyone that's played basketball when they were younger, they know AAU is just too much fun. Traveling and playing tournaments all around the United States, against some of the top competition in high school, is so much fun. So basically, it was my last summer of being able to play basketball, and I hadn't yet been on the varsity team for my high school yet. And for whatever reason, me and the varsity coach, I'm not even gonna say his name, for whatever reason, we just didn't get along, and I was never put on the varsity squad, even though a lot of people could see that I was, I should have been on the squad, for a while now. The reason Coach B didn't like me could have been, I was just hanging around the wrong crowd. I was, grades probably weren't the best and stuff like that. So that's just number one, man. If you won't be on a varsity team, you got to make sure you're doing what your coaches ask you. And for whatever reason, I wasn't doing that, and I didn't feel like that was going to play a major part in the decision of being on the team. You know what I'm saying? But basically, going into the last summer, I was cool with a lot of the assistant coaches, even though I wasn't cool with the varsity coach. And basically, I had an assistant coach named Coach Brown. And Coach Brown, man, he was crazy, but he, for whatever reason, he liked me. And he was kind of my lane to get into the varsity squad. He was real good friends with the varsity coach, the head coach. And so, he was going to advocate for me to basically, get on the team, because he seen my talent and he knew I should have been on the team. But fortunately, it wasn't his team, so there wasn't nothing he could do. But going into last summer, he told me, he said, "Lo, you need to be a dog. You need to show us why you deserve to be on the varsity squad." And I mean, basically, I was kind of taken by it. I mean, I was, I'd already felt like I had deserved to be on the team for a while now. And just to hear this, from him, that he expected to see more from me, was a little bit discouraging. But at the time, I was willing to, put in the work to be on the varsity squad. But basically, going into that summer, I played pretty decently. We traveled to a couple places. We traveled to Denver and stuff like that. And, I didn't get very much minutes during the summer. Still, I wasn't getting much minutes, playing. And, but I was dedicated, to the team, went to every summer workout, and was really just trying, to make it, really giving it my all for this one last run in my senior year. But basically, for the last tournament of the summer, we went to Denver, and basically, it being the last tournament of the summer, I just expected Coach B to allow all the seniors to just get a little bit more playing time than they maybe normally would have. And, I was pretty much the only senior that wasn't getting, a lot of playing time, man. So, basically the whole the whole tournament, or going into the tournament, I expected to get, some playing time just because it was our last tournament being able to play together. But I was wrong, of course. And, that's just that last tournament, spent all my time pretty much on the bench, man. And, not being able to, play the last summer of ball, was definitely discouraging for me. And at that point, I was starting to look like, that I was going to be cut from the team. And, that I wasn't going to be able to play varsity basketball at all, you know what I'm saying? So, the summer ends, we're going into the school year. And, our head coach isn't around as much as he usually be. And, it, at the time, we didn't know what reason it was. He just told us he was very busy. But, anyway, that was his business. He wasn't around, but the assistant coach, Coach Brown, was around. And he was the one, we had basketball class the last period of the day. And he was the one that ran the basketball class. And in basketball class, we just did drills. We ran. It was pure hell in basketball class, let me just tell you. But yeah, throughout, going into the school year. By now we are going into senior year, and right now I'm more determined than ever to be on this varsity squad, just because I need to finish out my senior year of high school on the varsity squad. That was what I was gonna do, and I wasn't gonna let anyone stop me. Basically, tryouts were approaching quickly, and I still wasn't feeling confident, that I had a secure spot on the team. Just having that feeling of, just not being secure, even though I felt like I was putting in the work. And just no matter what I did, all the running drills, I was coming in first. And, I know I'm not like trying to, pat myself on the back or anything like that, but I'm just being serious with y'all right now. Like, I was trying my hardest in practice to show the most effort, and for whatever reason, it still wasn't enough in their eyes. So, that was real discouraging for me, just because, being raised as a hard worker and, giving, 100% effort in everything I do, is what I'm used to doing. And to not reciprocate the same love, it was hard for me. But tryouts come. Tryouts usually would be 2 a day. We'd have to come 2 times a day for 5 days straight. This year, however, the majority of the team was seniors. And so there was only, I believe, 12 kids trying out for the varsity spot. And so tryouts this year were only 3 days, and it was only 1 time each day. So that was kind of weird, but at that point, I kind of felt like I was already on the team, just because it was only 12 players, and, my coach could accept 12 players, and so, I didn't feel like I wasn't getting cut at that point. And so I was starting to get, kind of excited. So the first day of tryouts goes by. I did pretty good. Was going through the running. It was basically like practice. It was basically what we've been doing, the whole time, just in practice. We were just running, regular drills, did a couple running sprints here and there, and, it wasn't anything too bad. We had to run a mile, and, obviously a mile is nothing too bad at all. But, after the first day of tryouts, I go home, I feel, like I did pretty good. Come back the second day, we basically do the exact same drills that we did the first day. And we actually have meetings after the second day of tryouts is over. And so right now I'm not knowing what to think. We're having meetings with every single player. The players are having meetings with the coaches. And we're going into the office one by one to have a meeting with the coach. And so everyone has their meetings before me. For whatever reason, I am the last person to have a meeting with the coach. And now I'm starting to get nervous. Like, everyone's going in before me, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm gonna need some help. Like, why am I not getting called in? You know what I'm saying? And so I finally get called into the office, and I could just tell the energy wasn't good, for whatever reason. And I sit down in front of them both, in front of both coaches, Coach Brown and, the head coach. And the first thing Coach Brown tells me is, Lauren, these last 2 days, you haven't showed us what it takes. You haven't showed us you're a dog. You haven't showed us that you want to even be on this team. Man, when I tell you, these were bullets through my heart. Because, I felt like I was doing the complete opposite. I was trying everything, I could in my power, to do my best in tryouts. And, it wasn't like I was a crappy player or anything. I mean, I was very athletic. I was on the track team, varsity track team. And so there was no reason why I felt like I shouldn't have been on varsity basketball. But anyway, basically the coach is telling me that I have one more day to prove myself. And if I don't show them what it takes the next day, that I will be cut. And let me take that back, because before they said that, my coach asked me, would I be okay or willing to sit, 5 straight games on the bench if I had to, for my teammates. And he was just basically seeing where my head was. At the time, I heard that and I was immediately insulted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to sit 5 straight games on the bench? For what? Like, of course no one wants to be a bench player. So of course I told him no. I said, no, I'm not willing to sit on the bench 5 straight games. I'm a senior already. I feel like I should have been, like, I'm worthy of this position. Why should I have to sacrifice so much? Especially if I could be helping the team. But basically, they tell me that, I had another day to prove myself and, to basically just think about whether I want to continue or not. And so that day after tryouts, man, I go home and, I was sad, man, thinking the fact that, I might not be playing, like, just mad that I still had a secure position. And, I talked to my parents and, they was kind of just like, you do your own thing, it's your decision, you a grown man. So for whatever reason, man, I went back that third day of tryouts, didn't even dress up. I just went straight into the office and I told them that I quit. I told them that I quit before they told me before they could tell me that I was cut, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why I told them that I quit, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't cut from the team necessarily, and I had that day to prove myself. And yet I still decided to quit. Maybe the lack of, just their lack of interest in me. I just felt like, what's the point of even continuing? What's the point of wasting my senior year if I'm just going to be on the bench, right? By far one of the worst decisions of my life, man. And I tell you, just the humiliation of seeing all your teammates, especially that you grew up with, going on without you. And it almost seems like they don't care, but it's just like, it's, they probably don't care, and the fact that, I wasn't able to, complete my senior year in basketball anyway, and I wasn't in any of the senior picks, or team pictures at least, any of the, just anything that had to, do with the the basketball team. And these were my closest friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of my closest friends played on the basketball team. So basically, the lesson in this, video or in my story is, no matter how much someone keeps knocking you down, you just feel like you can't keep getting knocked down no more. All I say is just keep going, man. Keep going and never give up on something that you truly love. No matter who takes it from you. Me quitting basketball, I played basketball my entire life and let, some varsity coach decide that, had it, allowed a varsity coach to affect me enough to make me quit something I love. And that's never something you should do at all. If you're really struggling with something, whether it's your job, a boss at work, a manager, just anything, you know what I'm saying? A teacher, anything, there's gonna be people that try to knock you down. There's gonna be people that, are constantly testing you to see, just how strong you really are. And I guarantee you, man, if you finish the process and you don't quit, the satisfaction and the gratitude you get from it is almost rewarding. It's almost more rewarding than anything. You got through it, and no one can stop you. And so I just hope that this story could help some of y'all. I hope that it wasn't too boring to listen to, because I don't know, I'm not the best storyteller, but instead of doing the vlogs, I wanted to try to say something inspirational, man. So never let no one knock you down. Always keep trucking, moving forward. Just keep swimming, like Dory says. And you'll never feel like a failure, man. Because let me tell you, I felt like more of a failure quitting that team than if I had actually been cut from the team, or if I had actually sat on the bench for 5 straight games. Because what's the point of quitting, man? You're just setting yourself short. So I'll see y'all, man.